Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick from the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage. Check out his cool shirt. And Ryan Gerdes, who does not have a cool shirt.
I like that shirt.
I like that shirt.
Yeah, if we're going to go two-stepping, that shirt's perfect, pal.
Do-si-do, baby.
Or you look like you just got out of a cab of an 18-wheeler.
Both are cool.
All right, you're going to want to text the word story to 623-AZ-RECON or put the word story in the comments section. Each and every Friday, we go through stories of us in the battlefield, working with our clients, working with our podcast listeners, helping people build wealth in real estate. And we'd love to have that opportunity to have a conversation with you about that. All right. So Ryan, I want to start with you.
All right. Well, actually, this is just last night. I went out with a good buddy of mine and a client of ours, and we were just sitting there. I mean, this guy is super savvy. He works for a big firm for hedge funds and investing, and he's extremely conservative as well as his wife is. And we just kind of started chopping it up, and he's like, "Man, I really want to get more into investing in real estate, but I'm having such a hard time letting go of $100,000 cash in order to get into it, and because that's about the only place where I can start seeing at least just not even passive income, but just not having to come out of pocket every month." And I was like, "Man, I get it." And he's just like, "Any ideas on how I can come up with more cash?" And I'm like, "Well, let's talk about your tax.
Robbing a bank?
Let's talk about your tax situation," because he already knows about HELOCs and so on and so forth. And essentially, we finally got to the point where we decided that we're going to do a cost segregation on his home because he has quite a bit of margin there in tax exposure that he could get a significant amount through his home on about a 5 or 7 year cost segregation. So hooked him up with Cindy last night. They're talking today, and they're going to map out that whole cost segregation analysis and hopefully put $150,000-ish into his pocket so that he can go put it into play. So it's just smart real estate, smart way for him to move the money now, as opposed to depreciating it out for the next 7 years, where at that point the market may have already shifted to a point where, okay, well, now it's gonna cost another $100,000 out of pocket in order to get it done. So he's pretty excited, and he's excited to show it to his wife, and hopefully we can get them on a path here in the next month or two.
All right. Well, we'll just tease it. We're not going to go into what a cost segregation analysis is, but it's a fantastic tax tip and tax strategy. And if you want to know more about it, go ahead and text the word story to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, Justin, what do you got for us today?
I'm just texting 623-AZ-RECON real quick.
You want to do a cost seg on your property?
Actually, I got a call from a previous client. Was looking at selling and buying a new house. And so just doing some... First of all, this client, I've been working with him for 7-8 years, and he got passed off to another lender, and he called into my team after he'd talked to the other lender, and he's like, I was told I had to use this lender, but they're not our Justin. And I was like, man, that's family right there. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he had done a lot of work on credit for me. With his first loan, spent over a year with him, getting his credit in line and putting him in place. And this is the kind of guy that he'll do anything. He gets focused on a task and he knocks it out. So I appreciate that about him. But he called and he's like, "Hey, I really love this property. I need to sell my property." And so I'm like, "Hey, what's the property address? Let's start messing around with these payments and what we can do." We're going to get into some creative financing here because of what he files on his tax returns. Pull up the property, and who's the guys that are listed on the property?
Yeah.
You two. And so I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Put him in touch with you guys, and hoping that we can figure some stuff out with him. But we got him in for underwriting on a scenario request for a bank statement program because he has high revenue in his business. And I mean, we'll use that P&L program as a last resort with him. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's so funny because I pulled up the property and I'm like, I've seen the sketches to this property. And I know I've seen it because I love this property and the way it's laid out. You know, it's a horse property for all of you out there.
So they had you right at the beginning.
They had me at the beginning. And, you know, the pull around for the trailer. I mean, the builder of this really thought this out for the area. It's an incredible property. And it's a great price.
Heading over there right after studio.
Yeah. So, yeah, just excited for him, excited to connect him to you guys, and excited to, you know, you guys can't get rid of me, you know?
Thanks,
it's crazy. It's just like it throws it out there in the world, and we're just always connected.
Well, hopefully one day we'll earn a Frederick team shirt.
I'll give you the list of what you got to do after we get off there.
Stay tuned.
Well,
It's a teaser.
well, mine is a young kid, and I say young kid just because I'm so freaking old.
Yep.
Army veteran. You know, spent his time serving the country, and Ryan and I we're really close with his dad, and we've gotten to know this guy we've known him for like 4 or 5 years, and we've been having this discussion over and over every time we see him. And his dad's like, you gotta stop renting, you gotta go out and buy it, and you gotta go out and buy it. And so this has been about a 4-year process for us. And so
Easy.
So we were at Dad's house a couple of weeks ago, and Dad's like, dude, you got to get him to buy a house.
That was one of the best whiskey
Oh,
tastings
my gosh,
ever.
dude.
Like,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'll just text him. He's never gotten too excited, and he got right back. All right, next week. And so we went out looking at homes. Well, no, we took him cocktail drinking first, and then looking at
Cigars.
homes, and
Yeah.
we started with new builds, and he got really acquainted, got really excited. But he's now all over our app, and he's just really we're starting to look at homes now, so we don't have them locked down yet. But a 4-year process, and finally he's just like, okay, I need to.
He's engaged.
I need to buy, and I need to get into my own home, and so it's just really, really exciting.
And he's a cool dude.
And
He's a good guy.
He's a cool dude. All right, well, we would love to chat with you and make you part of our stories, and more importantly, really have the opportunity to share how we help our clients and our podcast listeners build wealth in real estate. We'd love to have that comment or that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word story to 623-AZ RECON, RECON, or put the word story in the comments section. And as we do every Friday, we go around the room, we pick a topic, and we share what our favorite place is. And so, Justin, this week is your turn.
All right, so you're in town. Maybe you're here for a couple of weeks. You need a haircut. What's your favorite barbershop? You know, some of these barbershops out here, they can be real boring, but some of them are entertaining.
Stepped up the
and
game.
I'm just trying really hard to get Mike away from food topic. So I'm hoping that there's not hair in the food that he's.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's probably going to be something to do with food on why he chooses this place.
Or a
So Mike,
burger
you
shop
got
right
to go
next door.
first. Yeah.
I would say there's actually no food involved. So this is boring to me. You're boring me right now. No, I've always
Michael.
been my entire life. I don't consider myself a handsome man, and really felt like this face was worth investing a lot of money in.
You got the face of an angel.
So, as a kid, I was doing supercuts and then Fantastic Sams and great clips. That's just what I've always done, because it doesn't really matter. And then when COVID hit, couldn't get a haircut, right? And so my wife's like, okay, you got to go see my girl. You got to go see Jessica. So I now have a hairstylist.
You have a stylist.
And so I started going to her during COVID. She's become not only a friend, but she became a client of ours. And so, yeah, there was food involved. Yeah, we did a housewarming party for her. The food was great. Just went over to her house a couple Sundays ago for a barbecue that she hosted. And so It's called the Phoenix Salon. It's basically at Shea Boulevard and Scottsdale Road. And if you are looking for an amazing place to get a haircut, text the word hair to 623 AZ Recon, and Jessica and her team. It's just great. It's just great. And then after COVID, and after she bought a house and COVID subsided and disappeared and whatever the case is, like I can't, because Supercuts and Great Clips is cheaper, but like I think Jessica would kill me if I ever cheated on her.
Okay. All right.
No, well, then don't.
Don't do it.
So the bald guy.
I mean, like I think everyone knows that the majority of my haircuts are in my bathroom, so that doesn't apply. So, but I do from time to time love to go get a shave, and V's Barbershop hooks it up.
Where's that at?
They have a few of them now, but they have one over at Arrowhead.
Okay.
What's
It's
it called?
V's.
Okay.
There's one right on Bell and 75th, I believe, like on the southeast corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they do it up, with the hot cloth and the warm shaving cream and with the straight edge and the old dude. You feel like you're gonna get whacked when he's over there. Like,
Dude, that's what I always feel like. Yeah.
So I do love that, but my wife obviously goes to her salon quite a bit, and every now and then she'll be like, "Hey Ryan, do you want to go?" Because it's actually like they have like a bar in there, and it's a pretty cool setup, and it's the crowd's pretty fun. So that's the Gulick Brothers. I think I pronounced it right.
Okay.
And that's over off of Cave Creek and like Thunderbird-ish, somewhere right around there, Cactus. Anyhow, so if you're in town, 2 of those spots.
All right. So I feel like we're going to cover the Phoenix area, but mine's in Surprise. It's at Reams and Greenway. It's called Bub's Barbershop. And so I used to get my hair cut by my cousin for the longest time. He started cutting my hair when I was like 14 years old, cut my hair for a really long time. And then he moved out to like East Scottsdale. So it's a little far. So I had a buddy I played college ball with that used to cut everybody's hair in the locker rooms. And he went out, became a barber. He actually used to own Hall of Fades and Bogey's Hall of Fades, and used to cut the son's hair. So he then moved his family out to Surprise, and he went into this other shop, didn't want to have the responsibility of the shops. But the atmosphere in here is way cool. The conversation is hilarious. I mean, I don't know what a typical barbershop's conversation is, but this one I gotta feel like it's gotta be top 5% of the United States, maybe 1%, because the belly laughs that come out when I'm there is insane. And this guy is holding a straight edge to my face, and I can't even help myself. And I'm like, dude, get that thing away from me. But yeah, hot towel shave. The fades are amazing. He makes it easy for me to do my hair. I'm like a guy that doesn't want to do my hair very much, but it's always done because he gives me a good cut. But yeah, ever since I started going there, my wife's like, you cannot get your hair cut anywhere else. You have to go here.
That's the pressure that you have once you find a place. Because we Ryan and I, we got this new guy on our team. I'd still call him a kid. And so he's got a barber shop, and I'm like, dude, that'd be kind of see what Kobe can do.
Yeah, it seems like he's talented. I mean, he's not cheap, and so he stays busy. And so if you're not cheap and you're staying busy, it's for a good reason.
Yep.
So.
All right, well, there you go. We'd love for you to be part of our story, and we'd love to have the opportunity to sit down and just have a conversation about how we build wealth in real estate for not only ourselves, but also for our clients. All you got to do is text the word story to 623 AZ Recon or put the word story in the comments section.